Hi everyone and welcome to the channel. For those of you who are new, I'm Pixel Paul. For those of you who are returning, thank you once again for pressing play. So a pickup video for you today, slightly unexpected in that I hadn't planned to do any sort of game hunting this week particularly, but I was out and about a couple of times and those spur of the moment sort of decisions and things that catch your eye and you just can't leave them. So that's kind of what happened this week. But picked up one or two decent big games this week. But I'll start from the beginning. So I actually started with a little bit of disappointment. So we went shopping to our local supermarket, Asda, and our Asda actually still has quite a decent display of games for the Switch, the PlayStation, and the Xbox. What they actually have in stock, though, can be quite different, as was the case this time. So I'm having a quick look through the games that they've got there, and I spot an absolute bargain. And it's a game that I've been after for a while. It's been out for a while as well now, and it was Dead Space. Now, Dead Space has been going for roughly about $59.99 usually. And the cheapest I've seen it was $34.99. Asda had it on the shelf for £20, and I thought that's an absolute bargain. Now, I've been waiting to get Dead Space. I have played it not that long ago, actually, on the PlayStation 3. I replayed it. So that's why I've kind of been waiting, because I played it not that long ago. So I thought I'll give it a little bit of time and wait for a price reduction. But there hasn't been that many price reductions for Dead Space. So it's on the shelf for £20. And as always, I took it to the till and they're out of stock. And that has happened so many times to me in Asda over the last few years. It just seems to be the way. Whether people have seen that price and immediately jumped on it. I think at the moment CEX are giving you £28 for it on a voucher, so maybe people are buying that and taking it to CEX to get that extra £8 credit, which might be the case. So you might see a lot of copies of Dead Space possibly at CEXs soon. So yeah, it started the week with a little bit of disappointment, so no Dead Space for me. But it did get me thinking about the sort of pre-Christmas running, with relating to games, which back in the day, it was usually after Christmas when you would find the gaming bargains. But because it's such a mainstream hobby now and everybody wants a game for Christmas, a lot of places now are tending to do quite decent reductions before Christmas, so people can buy the games relatively sort of cheaper and give them as presents, obviously. I think Black Friday has had a big sort of influence on that as well, but certainly sort of November, early December is a really good time for bargain hunting and seeing some decent reductions on some decent games. So having seen that, I thought, right, let's plan a little video and just do a little bit of digging and see what's currently out there and what I think might sort of have a bit of a price reduction in the next few weeks. So funnily enough, one of the games that I did sort of pick out was Street Fighter 6. Now I've actually seen that just this morning in game, and they have now reduced that to $19.98. So originally about $44.99, I think, but at the moment they are selling it for $19.98. So I think that is a really good buy at that price. It's not been out that long either. So if you've been after Street Fighter 6 and you've held off from buying, get to game, because I think that is a pretty decent price for it, and I don't think that will get reduced much more than that. Another one I did spot in there as well was Resident Evil 4, and that had been reduced to $21.98. Again, I think that's a decent reduction. I think the cheapest I've seen it was again about $34.99, maybe 30. I think CEX did have it for $32 at one point. So $21.98 is a pretty good buy. Sonic Origins has also been reduced this week. Certainly on Amazon, I think it was down to $19.99, and I think Smith's Toys have got it for about $20 at the moment. So Sonic Origins at that price is not a bad buy at all. So some of the other games that I've sort of been thinking maybe they might sort of see a bit of a reduction at some point. Forspoken on PlayStation 5, it didn't sell particularly well. It's been out a while now. It has seen a couple of price reductions, possibly to about 29, possibly 25. But I think that might get reduced to 20, maybe less. So that might be a good one to pick out. Mortal Kombat 1, I think, might get some sort of reduction. A lot of these have been reduced by about sort of £10 already. So, that original sort of retail price of about $59.99 or $49.99. Some of these have come down to $39.99. But I still don't think that's a massive bargain, if you know what I mean. So I think Mortal Kombat 1 could be one just to keep an eye out for. AEW, I think, may also, the AEW wrestling game, I think that might get a bit of a price reduction. Again, it has been reduced, but I think it might just go sub sort of £20, not too soon, not too distant future. Again, Aliens Dark Descent as well. I think that one is a game that might come down. So if you've been waiting for that, I would just hold on a little bit longer. These are, of course, just complete guesses. These are just sort of educated guesses, if you like, and potentially these might not happen, but these are just some of the ones I think. This one might be a bit controversial, but I think RoboCop, the new RoboCop game, might see a bit of a reduction before Christmas. It's out this week, but I've not seen any reviews for it yet. So unless it's an absolute classic, I don't see that game selling particularly well, and I think we might see that reduced down slightly. So if you are thinking of getting RoboCop, I think it might just come down a little bit before Christmas, so it might be worth hanging on. Again, this one might be a little bit controversial because it's a big franchise and a big name, and it was a big release. Assassin's Creed Mirage, I just wonder whether that is one of the bigger games that might just get a bit of a price decrease, because it's a multi-format game as well. And I don't think it's sold particularly great. It did review well, but I just wonder if that might just sneak into some of the sort of Black Friday deals. So keep an eye out for Assassin's Creed Mirage. And sort of thinking back to some of the games from earlier in the year, and this is me sort of more hoping that it gets a reduction because I've been waiting for it to get reduced, is The Last of Us Part 1. Now, you do tend to find that a lot of the sort of first party big name games don't get massive reductions. So, for example, Final Fantasy 16, God of War, what are the other ones? GT7. None of those games have really been reduced over the last year since they've been released. But I just have a feeling maybe that The Last of Us might get some sort of reduction because it's been out a while now, and it's been sort of really priced at $69.99. So I think that will come down in price. It's more me hoping that will come down in price, that one. So some of the ones I don't think will particularly get reduced are things like Final Fantasy 16, Starfield, God of War again, Gran Turismo 7. I just don't see them shifting at the moment before Christmas. The only one I'm a bit undecided about is Hogwarts. I just wonder whether that might do, or whether the shops will think that's a game that kids will want at Christmas, so we'll keep it at this sort of standard price. So that's one to keep an eye out for, because I think it could go down, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. So it's just food for thought, all completely sort of guesswork. They may happen, they may not, but certainly it's this between sort of now and the end of November, early December. It's a good time to sort of find those gaming bargains. Certainly, obviously, this is all from a physical collecting kind of point of view. Digitally, I'm not quite sure on how the sort of market trends are with the digital games, but certainly physical. I think it's a good time to be looking out for some bargains. So that being said, let's have a look at some of the bargains I picked up. I'm going to grab a quick cup of tea, and then when I come back, I'll take you through what I picked up this week. Was a little bit of footage from, I think it was Cash Converters. Like I say, I've not planned to do any game hunting this week particularly, so I didn't really take any footage or plan to take any footage, so that was just a quick video of some of the games that they had in Cash Converters today, and I picked up one or two actually, which I've been quite happy with. So we'll go through these, and first up we've got Forza 3 for the Xbox One, and that was $2.99. At the moment, that one is currently going for £4 in CEX. So I think £1 off that's not too bad. Forza 3, Horizon 3, I should say. I've not played any of the Horizon games yet, so I'd be interested to give that one a go. Next up, I have seen people on Instagram talking about this game, but I don't really know a huge amount about it. It's Code Vein for the Xbox One again. I picked that up for $1.99. These are all from Cash Converters, these ones. Currently CEX is selling that for £3, so again that's kind of a £3 saving on £1 saving on that one. But quite interested to give that one a go. Looks quite cool. Code Vein. Next up is, although it's got a CEX sticker on it, it is again from Cash Converters. It's Star Wars Lethal Alliance on the PSP. Again, I've picked that up for £1.99. At the moment, that is a £3.50 game in CEX. So again, sort of £1.50 saved on that one. Good condition and complete. So I'm a sucker for a Star Wars game. So any sort of Star Wars game I'm going to pick up if I see it relatively cheap. So Star Wars Lethal Alliance. Next up is a Nintendo DS game, and I'm getting quite into sort of collecting some of these Nintendo DS games. It's not one I've collected for before, but picking up one or two decent buys on for that handheld now. And this one is Ninja Turtles Arcade Attack. Turtles are going through a bit of a resurgence at the moment, so any Turtles games, bar one or two, Turtles Smash Up is probably the exception. That's not a great game, but Turtles Arcade Attack, that's not a bad game. That was £5.99, and it is currently a £8 game in CEX. So again, a bit of a saving on that one. I've had a quick go of that, and it's quite good. Not a bad game at all. Next up, so these were from earlier in the week. I actually featured this one on my Instagram account as well, and it's a bit of a Nintendo Wii hidden gem, and it is Real Heroes Firefighter. Not a lot of people have heard of that one, but it is a bit of a hidden gem. I quite like this. Not one that sort of jumps off the shelf particularly, but when you play it with the motion controls, it's quite similar to another game that I've picked up in this pile. So I've actually picked up 2 firefighter games in the same week, which is weird, but just coincidence. But it's similar to that one, just with motion controls, but it does work, and it's a decent little game. That one was £4, I think. That was from CEX. So yeah, Firefighter. Next up, this was from Cash Generator. So there's Cash Converters and then Cash Generator. Cash Generator I don't find to be quite as good. The prices are quite wild in there. There's quite a range of prices. You can find a few bargains in there occasionally, but in general, sort of prices are very sort of heavy, and you don't find too many. But this wasn't a bad buy, I don't think, and it is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker on the Nintendo Wii U. Again, sort of complete, and I paid £6.99 for it. At the moment, that's in CEX for £8. So that was a good find, I think, that one. I've been after that one for a while because it's good. So that's Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, another one for the Wii U collection. Now, a couple of good ones, and this one was a bit of luck, really. So I've been after this one for a while, but it's always been quite sort of pricey. Certainly the PlayStation 3 version is quite expensive. I'm sure it used to be about £18 on the PlayStation 3. You very rarely see it in the Steelbook edition. I love a Steelbook. I do love a Steelbook. So to see it, I saw it on the Xbox 360, and that version I think has been about £12. But it may have gone down to 10 recently. But so it's Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13. This was the third of the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy. I paid £6 for it, and which, as soon as I saw it, I thought that seems really cheap for the sort of special edition Steelbook version of it, considering I thought it was about 10. That's the back of it. Really good condition, really nice Steelbook, great artwork on the front, nice clean logo on the back. Again, sort of really good condition as well. This one, the disc is really good. It's a really nice Steelbook. Like I say, I do like a good Steelbook. So yeah, so it was priced up on the shelf at £6. Took it to the till. The girl sort of was fumbling around a little bit and had to call someone over, someone senior, I don't know. And she said, "Oh, I just need to do a price override for this one because it should be £8." But she didn't quibble over it. They didn't question it. And they sold it to me for £6. So I think that's a bit of a bargain as well. But really happy to grab that, and really happy to get it in the Steelbook edition as well, because I think it's gorgeous. So that was Lightning Returns, £6. Ka-ching. And then the last one, again, this is a game that I've been after for a while, but it's always been quite pricey. It's a PlayStation 2 game, and I actually had a few sort of duplicates and swaps type games that I had sort of just hanging around upstairs. So I gathered them all together and managed to get about £14 for those lots. So I used that voucher against this, and it is Firefighter FD18, and that was £20. But with my voucher, it knocked it down to £6. So again, a bit of an underrated game that, but it is good. Konami game, and yeah, really happy to finally add that into the collection. Brilliant game. So if you ever see it around, it is worth a pickup. Doesn't look special, but it's a really good game. So yeah, I was happy with that. And those are my pickups for this week. So yeah, not too many, but considering I wasn't planning to buy any this week, I'm quite happy to just add a couple into the collection there. So yeah, that's the pickups for this week. As always, thank you for watching. If you've liked the video, if you if you could please drop a like onto the thumbs up, and if you aren't already subscribing, I would massively appreciate a subscribe from you. That would be great, and I will see you for another video later this week. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye.